Hi everyone, this is Miss Tom with Math Minute number 91. Keep in mind we're going to be doing this one. Make sure to pause the video when you are ready, unpause, and we'll talk about the questions. Alright, let's go over number 1. Number 1 is 3x plus 2 is equal to 8. We're going to go ahead and solve for x by first subtracting 2. That goes away. Then we end up getting 6 here, dividing by that 3, and we get x is equal to 2. Alrighty, very nice. How'd you guys do? Give yourself a star if you got that one. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to do the distributive property where we go 12 times x, which is going to be 12x, and 12 times negative 6, keep in mind that's a negative 6, that would be negative 72. Remember, we don't want to combine these terms because they are unlike terms. One of them is an x and one of them is a 72, or a regular number. Alright, let's go over number 3. Number 3, we do have the square root of 9, and the square root of 9 is some number times itself is 9, and that number is 3. So then we're going to cut that minus there, and negative 3 times 3 will equal to negative 6. And it says if negative x is equal to positive 8, then what is positive x equal to? So let's take a look at that. If negative x is equal to 8, how do we find out what regular x would be? Well, we would need to divide both sides by negative 1, and then we end up getting x is equal to 8 divided by negative 1 is going to be negative 8. Woohoo! How are we doing? Looks good. Continuing on. Let's go over number 5 now. It says solve for x. 3x plus 2x equals 30. So then we know 3x plus 2x is going to be 5x equals to 30. Then what we're going to do is we're going to solve for x by dividing by 5, and so we get x is equal to 6. 30 divided by 5 is 6. Alright, let's go over number 6 now. It says a times a times a, which is going to be a to the third, over a times b, which is going to be a squared over b. Keep in mind the a's will cancel out, where we're left with one a on top and one b on bottom. If you need to, go ahead and rewrite it so that you have it in expanded notation. And you'll notice what I'm talking about. You'll notice that these cancel out to giant ones, and then we're left with the AB that we mentioned earlier. Alright, how are we doing? Next, let's go over number 7. Number 7, we've got 12 and 2. 12 times 2 is 24. Then we've got the x's. We've got x, x squared, and x. How many x's are there? There are 4. So we've got 24 x to the 4th. And then lastly, we've got to finish this up. We have 4x plus 20 equals 3x. Remember, we need to solve for x, so let's go ahead and subtract 3x to both sides here. That becomes a 0 pair. So we end up with x plus 20 is equal to 0. And then what we're going to do is we're going to subtract 20 to both sides, and we get x is equal to negative 20. And in this question it's asking, what if x and y are at y is proportional to the triangle? We're going to look, how does 2 become 8? If we went in this direction, what happens here? Well, 2 times 4 would equal 8. Something times 4 would equal y. So this is one way of doing it. Or you can also do this process where you think, okay, let's try to see what happens this way. Where we say, okay, how does 8 become 2? Well, it becomes 2 by dividing by 4. So what we're going to need to do is here, we're going to need to divide by 4. And a way of doing that is 6 divided by 4. You can write it as a fraction. And then what you'll notice is that if you can divide by 2 to both sides, we get 3 over 2. And 3 over 2 is the same as 1 and a half. So y's value is going to be 1.5. Alright, that was kind of tricky. How'd you guys do that one? Next, let's go over number 10. It says 4y squared. Keep in mind that y squared, or that squared applies to everything in the parentheses. So we've got 4y times 4y, which is equal to 16y squared. And now we're on to a bonus question. It says, Leah likes the number 400, but not 500. She likes 900, but not 999. She likes 2,500, but not 600. Which of the numbers will she like? Well, we kind of have to see what's in common between the numbers, right? So let's go ahead and make a 2 kind of column, likes and dislikes. So she likes 400, but not 500. Oh. Okay, she likes 900, but not 999. And she likes 2,500, but not 600. Oh, let's write that in red. So, I'm going to pause the video to see if you guys can figure out what's in common with these ones and what's in common with these ones. So what we want to do is we want to notice what's happening with the likes and what's happening with the dislikes. So I'm actually going to go over more of this. She likes, I want you guys to take a look at the numbers in front, okay? So the zeros, I think, were kind of confusing for us, but if we really analyze this number, 4, 9, and 25, what is to notice about them? What if I continued and I said 36? What would you notice? All those numbers happen to be what? Well, I'll give you a hint. 4, 9, 16, 25, 36. All of those happen to be perfect squares. Even drew a square around it. So which one among these are perfect squares? It'd be D. None of them are perfect squares. And just like you see with anything here, all the dislikes are not perfect squares either. Alright, thanks everybody. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys for the next Math Minute.